Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. It's classic Trump.
Who is the saddest man you know? Maybe Will Smith, Drake, Kristi Noem's husband? Link in the description. Well, none of them, and I mean none of them, got sadness on former Attorney General Bill Barr. Now, for background, this man was one of Trump's most loyal servants. He spent over a year trying to discredit the Trump-Russia investigation and nullify the Mueller probe. His Justice Department moved to limit the sentencing for Roger Stone and tried to drop the case entirely against Michael Flynn, Trump's first national security advisor, who had already pled guilty of lying to the FBI. Barr has repeatedly voiced suspicions about the origins of FBI's Russia investigation, supporting Trump and other conspiracy theorists who claimed it was engineered by supposed deep state. Now, let's put a pin in this right now. You got the country's Attorney General calling out the FBI to protect his man, and they claim what's happening now is partisan. Man, the Trump years were really crazy. It wasn't just COVID and Yanny versus Laurel. Laurel. The man assigned John Durham, the U.S. Attorney for Connecticut, to investigate the investigation and press governments overseas for information to bolster Trump's claim that the Trump inquiry was a hoax. Barr waged bureaucratic warfare to discredit a probe that confirmed Russia attacked the 2016 election to help Trump, and that landed top Trump officials in jail. And I mean, it's not like we needed the Attorney General to handle anything domestic or anything. You know, 2017, 18, 19, and 20 didn't really provide a whole lot of work on behalf of law enforcement or the credibility we the people had in it. So yeah, just go ahead and hang out on QAnon and spend our money trying to validate the wildest stuff you see. Now, there was a breakup because there always is with Donald. Keep that in mind, Melania. This one came in December 2020 when he refused to elevate false claims about voter fraud. Barr later told the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot that Trump never offered, quote, an indication of interest in what the actual facts were about the election results, preferring to live in his fantasy world. Now let's just see how Bill Barr is handling the breakup.
Response to you saying you'd vote for the Republican ticket. Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy.
Okay, I have seen a lot of posts about exes, but weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy, that's well done. That is solid. That is solid. That is good work, Donald. I have to give credit where credit is due.
Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill.
Then he goes, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. That's quite a clapback. That's quite a clapback. Because clearly this is a move towards Trump that Barr is making. And when that happens, you know, there's a propensity to let bygones be bygones. And Trump was having none of it. He just removed lethargic, meaning the weak, slow-moving, gutless, and lazy still stand.
Weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. It's classic Trump. What's the question?
Classic Trump. So that's how he's been talking to you this whole time? You mean to tell me he's been talking to you like this and you still moved heaven and earth and all of our federal resources to support him? Gutless was right.
Yeah. It's classic Trump. What's the question?
What's your response?
Well, I mean, obviously, what I said was that I'm very disappointed that this country is stuck with this choice between two people who I don't think either of them should be president of the United States. But given that binary choice, I feel I have to choose Trump.
But he's mocking you.
So it's not about me.
Oh, it's not about me. See, that would be admirable. That would be admirable, except you made it about you when you were Attorney General. Well, you and your mans. You made it about you and your mans when you were Attorney General. So 0 points for that, sir.
I think that I've said this all along. If faced with a choice between two people, neither of which I think should be president, I feel it's my duty to pick the person who I think would do the least damage to the country. And I think Trump would do less damage than Biden. And I think all this stuff about a threat to democracy, I think the real threat to democracy is the progressive movement and the Biden administration.
Oh, so he's not the real threat to democracy. Oh, the man that actually tried to subvert an election and the will of the people, that is not the real threat to democracy. That is fascinating. I would like to see somebody use that in a court of law. No, Your Honor, I was not. The real threat to this merchandise was not my shoplifting. It is these high prices. These high prices are a real threat to this merchandise because nobody's going to want them at that price.
Democracy, especially, from the Anglosphere democracies, the Five Eyes and so forth, the threat's never been for autocratic government on the right.
But how specifically is Biden threatening democracy?
The threat to freedom and democracy has always been on the left. It's the collectivist, socialist agenda. And that is where we're losing our freedom. Parents are losing the freedom to control their children's education.
Oh, control of education, you say? You mean like all these books that have been banned because they feature brown people or a hint of gayness? Is that what you mean?
But Alyssa Farah Griffin, who was Trump's communications director, posted yesterday and said that you were present at a moment when Trump suggested executing the person who leaked information that he went to the White House bunker when those George Floyd protests were happening outside the White House. Do you remember that?
I remember him being very mad about that. I actually don't remember him saying executing, but I wouldn't dispute it. I mean, it doesn't sound. The president would lose his temper and say things like that. I doubt he would have actually carried it out.
You doubt he would actually carried it out? You mean you're not sure? You're not sure? You doubt he would actually carry it out? Oh, I thought he was playing when he said that, but then I never saw Terry again. I got that one wrong. Yeah, I got that one wrong.
I actually don't remember him saying executing, but I wouldn't dispute it. I mean, it doesn't sound. The president would lose his temper and say things like that. I doubt he would have actually carried it out.
But he would say that on other occasions? You said
the president, the president had I think people sometimes took him too literally, and he would say things like similar to that in occasions to blow off steam. But I wouldn't take him literally every time he did it.
So you take him literally some of the time, but not all the time. Okay, and how do you know when to take him literally? When exactly does he have a tell? Is it something in his Adam's apple? Does he sweat? Like, when do you know whether or not to take him literally or not? And that is good to know that we can go ahead and take threats off the table. Because yes, I realize that I've been arrested for threats, but I didn't mean that literally.
So just to be clear, you're voting for someone who you believe tried to subvert the peaceful transfer of power, that can't even achieve his own policies, that lied about the election even after his attorney general told him that the election wasn't stolen. And as the former chief law enforcement in this country, you're going to vote for someone who is facing 88 criminal counts.
Well, look, the 88 criminal counts, a lot of those are, and I've said...
Even if 10 of them are accurate.
The answer to the question is yes.
Law and order is dead, people. Law and order is dead. What happened to the party of law and order? Oh, so when it happens with them, it's law and order. But when it happens with you, oh, he ain't never hurt nobody. He ain't never hurt nobody. Your man got a rap sheet a mile long. Yeah, but he's a good kid.
Name one thing that Biden has done that's worse than that.
I think his whole administration is a disaster for the country.
Is worse than subverting the peaceful transfer of power?
Did he succeed?
Oh, so what is this, a video game? You just get as many opportunities as possible. Oh, you failed. You get to start right back where you were last time. So you just get to try and take over our federal government. And if it doesn't work, hey, just come on back. We'll just merge you right back into things. You know what? I guess we did do that with the Confederacy. We did do that with the Confederacy and gave them money for the slaves, huh? Touche, Bill Barr. Touche. But I have to ask you, as a law enforcement officer, since when does "did he succeed" have relevance?
Did he succeed?
Yes, did he succeed? It is a lot of people in jail right now for alleged crimes. Hey, it's a lot of people for alleged crimes, but Your Honor, I ain't succeed. I ain't succeed. Just put me back on the street so I can try again. Then if you catch me, then I go to jail.
Weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy.
Congratulations, Bill Barr. You are the saddest man in America.